You'd send one message to someone searching for you, what would it say? Drop your answer below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because this story will change how you think about survival forever. October 2019. Two soldiers vanish on what everyone called a routine supply run. Emma Hawkins and Tara Mitchell. Their convoy found burned out, blood on the seats, but no bodies. The army held funerals, folded flags, told their families it was over. Case closed, killed in action, move on. But here's what nobody knew. They weren't dead, not even close. 5 years later, a SEAL team kicks down the wrong door. Bad intel, wrong coordinates. The kind of mistake that happens in war zones. But in a hidden cellar beneath that compound, they find something that shouldn't exist. U.S. Army uniforms, female name tapes still readable after half a decade. Hawkins, Mitchell, dog tags wrapped in plastic like someone knew they'd need to be preserved. And then they see the walls. Scratch marks, thousands of them. Someone had been counting days. For 5 years, someone had been marking time, refusing to disappear. The SEAL team commander stares at these items, and his hands start shaking. Not because he's squeamish. He's seen worse, but because one of those name tapes belongs to his wife, Tara Mitchell. The woman he divorced after the army declared her dead. The woman he never stopped looking for, even when everyone told him to let go. His name is Jake Morrison, and in that moment, everything he thought he knew shatters into pieces. Back at Fort Campbell, Master Sergeant Curtis Boyd gets a call at 3 in the morning. The kind of call that makes your blood run cold. His soldiers, the ones he sent on that supply run 5 years ago, their gear just turned up in a cave system nobody was supposed to be searching. And there's more. The scratches on that wall, they're fresh. Someone was in that cellar 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. Not 5 years ago when they supposedly died. 2 weeks ago, someone was still alive, still counting, still waiting. Boyd can't sleep after that call. Can't eat. Can't think about anything except those scratch marks. He starts doing math in his head. 1,226 lines carved into concrete. That's exactly 5 years. Day by day. Someone kept count. Someone refused to be forgotten. And the worst part? The part that makes him want to scream is that the blood they found on the uniforms isn't 5 years old. Lab tests show it's maybe 6 months old. 6 months ago, one of them was bleeding. 6 months ago, they were still alive while the rest of the world had moved on. Morrison sends Boyd photos he's not supposed to have. Evidence that breaks about 15 different regulations. But regulations don't matter anymore. In those photos, Boyd sees letters written in Tara's handwriting. Letters addressed to her mother, to Morrison, to anyone who might find them. And one letter is different. One letter has coordinates. Grid reference 247.3, a water station, and a date, October 20th. 3 days from when Boyd is reading this, whatever Tara was trying to warn them about, it's happening in 3 days. Now here's where it gets even stranger. Morrison has been searching for 2 years. Unauthorized searches. Satellite time he shouldn't have access to. Drone footage from areas that were supposedly cleared. He's been breaking every rule in the book because he never believed his wife was dead. And the evidence proves he was right. But why didn't anyone else find them? Why did it take a SEAL team stumbling into the wrong building to discover what Morrison had been screaming about for years? The answer is uglier than anyone wants to admit. Boyd starts pulling threads and the whole thing unravels. 3 American contractors, Davidson, Reeves, and Campbell. Private military, Stronghold Solutions. They sold Emma and Tara to insurgents for $50,000. $50,000 for 2 American lives. They gave up convoy routes, security gaps, everything the enemy needed. And then they kept track of their investment, visited them over the years, took photos, made sure their assets stayed valuable enough to sell again. But Boyd and Morrison don't have time for the full investigation. That date in Tara's letter is coming up fast. October 20th. They have 72 hours to plan an impossible rescue in hostile territory. No official support, no permission. Just a handful of SEALs who volunteer for what might be a suicide mission. They're going in whether the army approves or not. Because those scratches on the wall prove one thing. Emma and Tara never gave up. So how can anyone who swore to bring them home do any less? They drive into Afghanistan disguised as arms dealers, worn military surplus, fake papers, the kind of swagger that comes from men who've sold their souls. Every checkpoint makes Boyd's trigger finger twitch. This isn't a sanctioned operation. If they get caught, the government will disavow them. If they die, nobody will claim their bodies. But that's not what keeps him up at night. What terrifies him is the possibility that they'll arrive too late, that those fresh scratches will stop, that the counting will end. When they reach the observation point overlooking the water station, Morrison sets up his scope and freezes. New vehicles, military grade, Pakistani intelligence service. They're not the only ones who figured out Emma and Tara are valuable. Pakistan wants them for leverage against the US government, and they're moving in tomorrow morning, before the planned prisoner exchange. Before Morrison's team is ready, they have two choices: abort and lose Emma and Tara forever, or attack now with zero reconnaissance and hope desperation is enough. Morrison doesn't hesitate. We go now. They move down the mountain in the dark. Boyd's team circles toward Horrifying, underground storage entrance where the prisoners are kept. Two guards smoking cigarettes, rifles slung carelessly. Two clean shots. The guards drop without a sound. Boyd cuts the chain on the metal hatch and pulls it open. The smell hits him like a physical force. Human misery concentrated into something you can taste. He descends into darkness, night vision turning the world green. At the end of a corridor, one closed door. Behind it, Boyd hears singing. Soft, hoarse, barely audible. A lullaby his grandmother used to sing. Emma's voice. After 5 years, he recognizes Emma's voice. He shoots the lock off and kicks the door open. Two figures huddle in the corner. One sitting up, cradling the other protectively. Both wearing rags that might once have been uniforms. The sitting figure turns her head. Through the night vision, Boyd sees a face that barely looks human. Sunken cheeks, eyes huge in a skeletal face. "No," she whispers. "You're not real. Not again." Boyd pulls off his night vision, turns on his flashlight. "Emma, it's Boyd, Sergeant Boyd. We're here to take you home." Emma flinches from the light, draws the other figure closer. Tara, unconscious, breathing wet and rattling. A medic rushes in, starts checking vitals. Emma lunges at him, feral. "Don't touch her. Don't you touch her." Boyd catches her, feels how light she is. Maybe 80 pounds. "Emma, stop. He's a medic. He's helping." She fights him, weak as a child but desperate. They said that before. Then gunfire erupts outside. Morrison's team engaging the enemy. They need to move now. The medic gets Tara on a litter, starts an IV. Boyd lifts Emma. She weighs nothing. They run through chaos. Muzzle flashes, tracers, someone screaming, bullets snapping past, an RPG explosion, but they make it to the trucks. Boyd throws Emma into the back, jumps in after her. Tara loaded beside her, the medic still working frantically. Morrison's team comes running, all but Morrison. Then he stumbles out of a building, arm hanging wrong, carrying a box. The trucks tear out of the compound with explosions chasing them. Emma curls against Boyd, fingers digging into his vest. "Is this real?" she keeps asking. "Is this real?" In the corner, the medic works on Tara, her breathing getting worse, blood on her lips. Morrison crawls to her, takes her hand. "Baby, it's Jake. Can you hear me? We got you. We're going home." Tara's eyes flicker open, glazed with fever. Jake, barely audible. "Yeah, baby, I'm here. Emma's safe. Boyd's got her." Tara smiles just a little. Kept my promise. Kept her alive. They drive through the night, racing towards safety. But an hour from the border, Tara's breathing stops. Morrison tries CPR. The medic pushes drugs. Emma screams, begs, promises anything if Tara will just breathe. Nothing works. Tara Mitchell dies free, holding her husband's hand, with Emma singing the same lullaby she probably sang 1,000 times in that cell. The trucks keep driving. They bring back only one of the two soldiers they came for. One survivor. One killed in action. At the safe house, Emma won't leave Tara's body. She climbs back into the truck, takes Tara's cold hand. She's getting cold. She hates being cold. We need more blankets. Morrison wraps his jacket around Tara's still form. Emma tucks it carefully, like she's done this 1,000 times before. Inside, the medic tries to examine Emma. Severe malnutrition, infected wounds, burns, scars everywhere. But Emma's not processing that Tara's gone. She tells Tara stories about Montana, about horses, about home. Her voice hollow, automatic, like she's worn grooves in her mind from repetition. The helicopter arrives. They load Tara first, on a stretcher with an American flag. Emma climbs in after. She sits between Morrison and Boyd, holding Tara's hand under the flag. 5 years, she whispers. 5 years, 2 months, and 6 days. She pulls something from inside her shirt, a piece of fabric covered in tiny marks, thread pulled from their uniforms, dyed with blood, making hash marks barely visible. Tara made this when she got too weak to scratch walls, said we needed proof we never gave up. She made the last mark 3 days ago. The psychiatric ward is too white, too clean. Emma hasn't slept more than 20 minutes at a time in 4 days. Boyd visits every day, just sits with her. Sometimes she talks, sometimes she doesn't. They buried Tara yesterday, she says suddenly, with full honors. Emma pulls her knees tight. She would have hated that. All those people who let us rot suddenly calling her a hero. You know what she said once? Year 3, maybe. Said the worst part wasn't the torture. It was knowing nobody was coming. We saw helicopters. American helicopters. So close we could see the door gunners. We screamed until our throats bled. Her fingers trace patterns on her pants. The same counting motion. They never heard us. Morrison arrives, aged 10 years and 4 days. Emma, I need to know. The last year when she was sick, was she in pain? Emma could lie, but that's not who she is. Yes, but she hid it well. Stayed strong. Talked about you every day, every single day. Morrison's legs give out. He slides down the wall, sobbing. Emma crawls to him, holds him. She saved me. When they'd hurt me bad, she'd clean the wounds. When I couldn't eat, she'd feed me. When I wanted to die, she'd remind me why I couldn't. Morrison asks through tears, why couldn't you? Because she said you needed to know she never stopped loving you. Said the divorce papers didn't matter. Said you were her forever. Intelligence officers arrive. They want to know what Emma gave up under torture, what secrets she spilled. Emma stands, swaying. You want to know if we broke, if we compromised intelligence, if 5 years made us betray our country. We gave them nothing. Her voice goes hard as steel. They tried everything. Waterboarding, electricity, things I won't name. Tara never broke, even at the worst. Name, rank, serial number. That's all they got. Then Emma drops the real bomb. 3 American contractors sold us out. Gave our route for $50,000. I know because they bragged about it. Davidson, Reeves, Campbell. Stronghold Solutions. I remember everything, every face, every voice, every day. The investigation that follows uncovers something worse than anyone imagined. It's not just 3 contractors. It's a network, 8 years of operation, 37 Americans sold to the highest bidder, and at the center of it all, a retired colonel, Marcus Webb, the man who classified Emma and Tara's convoy as routine, who ensured they had no air support, minimal security, who processed every single missing person who ended up trafficked. Webb calls Emma directly one day, threatens her, tries to make a deal. Stop investigating and he'll give her 3 locations, save 3 lives. Emma agrees, takes the deal, gets 3 prisoners home, but Webb disappears. Emma doesn't stop. She can't. She testifies before Congress, works with rescued prisoners who want to help, forms a network dedicated to finding the missing. Over 2 years, they recover 41 of 43 known trafficked Americans. 2 died before they could be reached. The searches continue for others, for the ones still scratching marks on walls, still counting days, still hoping someone remembers they exist. Emma becomes Deputy Director of the Office of Missing Personnel Recovery. She never sleeps more than 4 hours, never stops looking. At Arlington, Emma visits Tara's grave one more time before flying to Pakistan for another operation. The headstone is covered in small stones. Hundreds of them. Stones left by Morrison, by Tara's mother, by every prisoner who knows they owe their freedom to a woman who died ensuring her friends survived. 43 found. 6 still missing, Emma whispers. I won't stop. That's my promise. Forever. The wind picks up, rustling through endless rows of white markers. For a moment, Emma can almost hear Tara's laugh, feel her presence. Then she walks toward the waiting car, toward the plane, toward the missing, because the mission never ends. The count goes on, for Tara, for all of them. Forever. Emma carries something with her everywhere now, that piece of fabric with 1,326 bloody marks. Proof that survival isn't about being strong. It's about refusing to disappear. It's about making sure someone remembers your name. Tara Mitchell made sure Emma survived. Emma makes sure no one else gets left behind. That's the promise. That's the mission. And it continues today, tomorrow, and every day after. Because some promises are forever. Some debts can never be repaid, and some people refuse to let the world forget. So here's my question for you. If you were in Emma's position, having survived because someone else sacrificed everything, how would you honor that sacrifice? What would drive you forward when every part of you wanted to give up? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe, because there are more untold stories like this that deserve to be heard. Stories of survival, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bonds that keep us human even in the darkest places. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.